It's not a biopic. All true stories are not biopic. I know there is a biopic surge happening at the moment.
True.
It will slowly die out. One of the elephant in that, yesterday, in the Pooram, one of them is half blind.
Wow.
I said, what? Most importantly of all this, I am looking forward to my directorial.
Hello, Resul.
Hello.
Welcome to Reeling In by Cinema Express. When you won the Oscars about 8 years back, and when people asked what you wanted to do next, you said you wanted to cover the Pooram festival. What is so special about that festival, and how do you see it from a sound designer's point of view?
It's a delight for a sound man. It is one of the biggest sound festival in the world. There is nothing like Pooram across the globe. So that makes it one of its kind. That makes it special. And it is originated in Kerala. It is more than 1,000 years old. What more do you want?
What happens in the festival? Can you brief us?
So, in the last 250 years, Pooram as a festival is celebrated in Thrissur. There was a king of Cochin, his name is Shaktan Tamburan. He brought this to Thrissur. And he made an order that in so and so time, when the festival happens in this temple, everyone from the kingdom should attend it.
Okay.
If they don't attend, they will be excommunicated. It's a Shiva temple, a temple that's situated in 70 acres of land in the heart of the city. Almost 1 million people assemble there every year. And it's a 1 week, 5 days of festival, temple festival as a part of the celebration. But one particular day is where the most number of people comes and a huge thing happens there. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there starts the Melam. The Melam means it's about 300 to 500 musicians assemble
At the same time.
at the same time, and they play. There will be chandas and kolu and all that. There will be a performance for over 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. Then they finish that. That happens in the Sanctum Sanctorium. Then one more Melam happens, after an hour, almost from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock or 6:30, where they call Kodamatam. This Panjari Melam happens in that time, where there are two factions, They have this competition goes on, and people comes together there and they cheer them.
Okay.
And this whole festival is the festival of rhythm, and they play a Melam. A Melam has 4 columns and there's a very complex rhythm structure. And you listen to it and enjoy and be part of the group and part of the people. There's a temple, there are 100 elephants, 300 musicians performing, 10 lakh people, they go in a frenzy and, there's aravams and all that. So the energy in that place is like almost transcendental, You will transpose to a different, being, That energy is amazing. And that is Pooram. And it happens every year. And people from all over Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, from other parts of the world comes there to just witness it, And because it's so complicated in terms of assembly of people, the complexity of the entire the nature of the sound is very complex to record, to recreate. So to be true to the authenticity of the work that they do, and people who are part of this group are extremely dedicated musicians. They're some of the greatest musicians the country has ever produced, and they are like they have left their life, everything in the life for Pooram. They are performers, musicians.
So they're completely dedicated to
Yeah. So 6 months in a year they do this travel with all this Pooram. 6 months they have no work, so they teach, they train the younger generation. It takes 25-30 years of practice to be a performer in a Malayalam. So it is an amazing display of energy, talent, and enthusiasm, togetherness. There is no restriction in those five days of the festival. There is no restriction in the temple. Everyone can go, be part of it. They can pray. They can be in the temple. So it's an amazing place to be of oneness. And imagine this has been going on in this particular place 250 years. It's been going on in Kerala for over 1,132 years.
Wow.
And I thought, as a sound man, this is Kerala's gift to the world. And I thought, as a sound man, I need to preserve this. I need to archive this. So Rajiv, myself and Prasad, whatever we have done is actually the job of the government of India. We, as a torchbearer of a tradition, of knowledge, of wealth, we should be preserving all this.
True.
Instead, because this is the last concern of the government of India. So to sort of, I had an ambition. To fulfill that ambition, somebody from US has come down. I said in an interview about this, as my, what is the next thing that you want to do as your biggest ambition? I said, I want to record Pooram live.
And it took 8 years for it to happen.
And and somebody who saw this in the US, who contacted us, and he asked me, Resul, you want to go and do it? Please go ahead. I will take care of everything else, And that is Rajiv Panekal, who is a producer of this film. Somebody who happened to be a producer, who never intended to be a producer. So that's how it's all started.
So what is Oru Kadhai Sollatuma about?
So during the process of this recording session, so they asked me, can we make a film about it? So I said, what kind of film? They said, a film where we want to know how you are doing this. We're spending so much money of making this possible. This is one of its kind in the world. We would like to make a film about how you went about doing this.
A documentary as such.
Kind of a coverage. Then I realized there's like 24 cameras, 3D, 2D, 4K, 2K, all kinds of shots, and drones and this and that and all that, huge cranes and everything possible they put up together. I had like some 25 crew members in my crew. We flown in from Bombay, and a lot of technological advancement that we had to try out on this thing. So people who helped me from the Europe to put it together and all that. We came down to Kerala. The track count has gone up to like 150 tracks recording at the same time, live on those locations, and it became huge. It went beyond what I thought it would be. And during the process of this recording, process of filming, after we finished this festival, we were shooting things about the allied aspect of Pooram, and one of the thing was elephants. So we went to this elephant farm where they breed elephant and all that. Asia's first female mahat.
Nice.
So we were, in their dwelling. The elephant was lying in the stream. We were like, bathing him, all that. Then she asked me, Resul, do you know that one of the elephant in that yesterday in the Pooram, one of them is half blind.
Wow.
I said, what? I said, yeah, half blind. I said, if an elephant is blind, how would he moving around or be standing there? How does he know what to do? Because he's not seeing anything. He said, everything is driven by sound. Even for the elephant. I thought, if an elephant can do that, why not humans? A visually challenged person will never be able to be part of Pooram, like the way we are able to do. I said, this is it. I'm going to replace the elephant with a visually challenged person. If my ears can be their eyes, there's a meaning in what I'm doing. That's the whole idea of this film. That's how the whole thing has turned around.
Amazing.
You know, so by way of recording Pooram, we wanted to make a film where even the visually challenged person can experience the magnitude, the amplitude and the ambience of Pooram as is.
Technically, this is your first time in front of a camera, I say, right?
I have done as many films that I can show as a retrospective when I was in the film school.
You play yourself in the film, right? What are the challenges that you face when you're recording it live?
Challenges numerous, as I said. Coming in front of the camera and turning this around to what it is, like I said, it just happened. In the process of filming the recordings and the process and all that, the film just happened, Film just evolved out of it. So I become an accidental hero, an accidental actor. I am playing myself, but there is a fiction line because we made it into something like that, so that we can have some kind of an expression out of it. Otherwise, what will I do with this recording? I'll keep it in my private archive. No, there's no point in that. It has to come to people, and it's a huge sound installation actually. But the recording by itself is a huge sound installation. So I thought I'll take it out to people.
Walk us through the technical aspects of the film.
The film is going to be in Dolby Atmos. The experience is going to be in Dolby Atmos. That is one aspect of it. And the other thing is, I have combined the process of recording this. I have combined the height layer recording elements and techniques of Oru 3D. Okay. Combined that with the immersive aspect of Dolby Atmos and some of the technology, microphone technique that we use in VR technology. I put all this combined together to create the experience of Pooram.
Since the film is predominantly about sound, is it the reason why you were able to make it in 4 different languages?
For me, language is another sound. When you hear somebody like Vairamuthu speaks, you feel that you're listening to some kind of a music which is spoken. And so for me, language doesn't matter. It seems the crew were the director and the producer, the film that they made out of it, they're very confident. They feel that it should go to everyone, not just in Kerala or in Tamil Nadu. It should go to the rest of the country. And the only way to release in multiple languages. So they are planning all that. Amazing. I'm going to run away very soon. My coming back to Kerala after a long time for recording Pooram is like a homecoming. So this song is like a homecoming, tribute to the earthly people, So that's been rewritten by it. Originally in the Malayalam version, in the original film, it is in Urdu. It's a Urdu song. Okay. And Vairamuthu sir has written in Tamil. I think it's fantastically beautiful.
So we also hear that the songs were recorded in A.R. Rahman's studio.
Mm-hmm. That's the only place I know where I go when I have a recording to do. That's where we go. And Shiva is a long trusted associate. Mm-hmm. Shiva has been who did all the mixing for us.
We hear that you're also interested in capturing the light show at Nagpur next. Is that true? Is that happening?
Mm-hmm. That is something that is in the offing, because Revati and myself we together did that Andaman show, the Ross Island show, which is a light and sound show. And actually, apparently Nitin Gadkari, who has come there, who saw that, and he was so amazed by the whole technical aspect of the show. He called Revati and asked her to come to Delhi, and they want to do something similar in Nagpur. And Nagpur has a long history, history of Vivekananda and all that. So we are trying to put a show together with Rahman's music, of course. And that's going to be a really huge, thing where we are, again, technologically, we are trying to create something never been tried before.
How do you think the importance for sound has been addressed by the filmmakers? Obviously, it has improved over the years, but how do you see it when compared with our Hollywood counterparts?
Importance of sound, very few filmmakers whose works in the mainstream industry has understood it or even if they understood it, they didn't use it. Very few of them has used it to the possibility, you know. But you look at the works of Spielberg or Lucas, you know, they made their life out of being good sound people, you know. Everything that we know today about good sound or sound that the way the Hollywood has used has come from them. There's nobody like that from India, you know. Of course, after my Oscar, there's a lot of talk about it, but still, our mainstream works with a certain formula, you know, certain textured pattern, you know. Very difficult for them to break out of it, you know, or we never tried to break out of it. So that's the reason. I think the primary reason being music sells, sound doesn't sell, you know. You have to create a market for it. I think in the last 7-8 years, it's been growing. A lot of youngsters are very, very keen on good sound. They're closely watching and discussing, you know, the kind of reactions that I get every film of mine releases in social media and newspapers and critics' ratings and all that. Become a part of, you know, evaluation of a film, production value of a film. So that's a great sign.
Tell us about your future projects.
Sometimes I need to look at my IMDb and say, oh, this film, when did I say yes to this film? You know, most importantly of all this, I am looking forward to my directorial.
Oh, really?
That also is happening somewhere in the calendar.
Wow. So, which language would that be in?
Hindi.
Hindi.
Yep.
And is it something to do with sound again? Hopefully.
It's a true story. I mean, yeah. So.
Is it a biopic?
It's not a biopic.
Okay.
All true stories are not biopic. I know there is a biopic surge happening at the moment.
True.
It will slowly die out.
So when can we expect that film to be rolling?
I don't know now because I need an A-list actor. The script is under his consideration. He's loved it, and we're working on the logistics now.
Perfect.
As soon as it is okay, I will announce it to the world. I'll be happy to announce it.
Thank you, Resul. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you, man.